Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Good morning. Good to see everybody. Good morning. All right, we'll give everybody a couple more minutes to file in. Hope everybody's having a great day. All right, good morning, everybody. We'll go ahead and get into it in just one more minute here. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into it this morning. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Welcome. I'm Michael, coming to you from Game Edge on December 24th, obviously Christmas Eve. Thanks for everybody for joining us. Hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and enjoys your time away from the market. Let's go ahead and jump right into it today. Obviously, we have a large IC that is very visible. Obviously, everyone on X is posting about it also. So we'll take a look at that once we get to that. As always, here at Game Edge, we start with the three pillars: sentiment, structure, and trend. Currently looking at a market trend model that continues to improve. Market trend model is based on the tick index. The bolded white line is your intraday instantaneous cumulative tick, or CT. If you're a 0DT trader, you want to see this continuing to rise from lower left to upper right, indicating more stocks are being bought than sold. And then obviously the colored ribbon is our longer look back period. This is red above cyan. So again, that's showing a positive slope in that longer look back period. And now our CT, or cumulative tick, is emerging above the colored ribbon. So again, our mechanical portfolios will turn on for today. So we'll be entering positions in our P-trans to PGEX, as well as our wheel strategy on those mechanical portfolios. Up here, breadth indicator section here, new highs versus new lows. New highs still continue to outpace new lows. And then filter cumulative tick indicator, plus 1,000, minus 1,000 larger block orders. We see institutions participating, obviously not significantly to the upside, but still participating, including more stocks are being bought than sold. And then a cumulative tick rising above zero. So we'll continue to watch this. Obviously, low volume, low OI heading into today and Christmas Eve, and most likely the day after Christmas. Obviously, a shortened session today. We end at 1 p.m. So we'll most likely just see this continue to chop around and rise to the upside. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the SPX. Options complex is largest, most notional value. Again, we look at the SPX because that's where most market participants are positioning. So again, SPX A, we separate those from the SPX P. Again, we're looking at the January expiry here. We are call dominated above and below spot price. So again, as long as we're above the transition area, we'd be looking long or supportive type action from institutions. These are our tankers and larger market participants. You see 7,000 up to the upside, again, would be the area that we're looking for price to appreciate, as long as we're above transition areas. And then below us, we have in the money calls below us. These should be supportive to the downside as we pull back in the market, if we do pull back, as we remain call dominated. So again, 68.80 to the upside, we want to be above that on any pullback for transition area and staying a little bit more call dominated, positive gamma, favorable environment for market appreciation. All right, moving on the SPXP. Again, this is our speed boats. These are our shorter duration contracts. This is our web app over here. You can see that we've added some new features. This is basically just highlights the most weighted OIs that are easily clickable. And you'll notice down here, open interest quartile scale, what top 25%, bottom 25%. So if you're just looking for the OIs that may be dominant within the overall web app, you can easily click on those. And then the ones that are not weighted as much. And then you can click up here to see how much of selected OI you have. So call dominated for today, all expiries turned on. Again, we see the IC there at 69.20, 69.25. Lower leg at 68.85 and 69.90. We see our overall transition area is extremely wide. So again, if we're in the transition area, we'd anticipate price to continue to be choppy and most likely pushes towards the middle. As long as we're under the lower or under the upper IC and above the lower IC, most likely the forces will push to the middle of this 69.05 to 69.10. If we do get above 69.25, then we look for price to start appreciating up towards 69.50. Again, we'd have to see some overall speculation to the upside there, at least on the 0DT, and our market trend model would have to continue to be rising. So again, we'll watch these upper and lower legs of the IC, see if they continue to exert their force. Most likely we'll be stuck within the overall DEX and GEX transition, as well as our drunken sailor range on 0DT we'll talk about. All right, moving on to the SPXP GEX ratio. Again, this is like a put call ratio, but we add a gamma component to it, add a time component, which is gamma. So this is more weighted to short dated call gamma versus short dated put gamma. Again, as the SPX continues to rise to the upside, we want to see this GEX ratio continue to rise. This is indicating how the money call speculation continues to come into the complex and override the put speculation. Again, that is supportive of price as we continue to move up. Now, if we do see SPXP start to consolidate or go sideways or start to pull back, we'll watch the GEX ratio to see if it continues to drop. Again, and that would be indicating how the money call speculation leaving the complex and short dated put hedging coming, or short dated put speculation coming into the overall complex. So again, above 1, which is that balance point of bulls versus bears, and we're rising up to the 2 level. So again, call dominated, bulls are in full control of the overall speculation and the structure as SPX continues to move up. All right, moving on to the delta balance. Again, this we separate the option structure from left-hand plane and right-hand plane. So left-hand plane is below spot price. That's your red dotted line. Those are in the money calls and out of the money puts. The right-hand plane is the green dotted line. This is the out of the money calls as well as in the money puts overhead. If we're above 0, we give an edge to the bulls. That means we're call dominated in both the left-hand plane and right-hand plane. And you want to see the green dotted line, that's your out of the money call speculation continue to rise to the upside, as well as the in the money calls basically stay sideways. And then the aggregate is the blue dotted line. That's your delta balance of both planes. You want to see those pegged at +1, indicating bulls are in control. And then our projection on out in time for further expiries, you want to see this at least above 0, as well as the green dotted line rising or a positive slope, again, indicating out of the money call speculation, which we have here as we head into next week. But then we do see towards the end of next week, the 31st, we do see some of that out of the money call speculation drop, but the in the money calls rise also. So again, delta bounce staying pegged at 1, bullish as we continue on into next week, into the new year positioning and into the month after that. All right, let's move on to net stack command. Again, this is where our high sensitivity levels at for today. You see out of the money calls at 69.20. Obviously, that's the upper IC strike, 69.20. Lower 68.90. So I got lower IC strike there in the money calls. So again, supportive. Left-hand plane is bigger, so supportive on any pullback. Out of the money calls at 69.20. Probably going to be difficult to get over for today due to low OI, unless you want to see Captain busted today, unless the market wants to see that. So net charm 68.90. Obviously, as long as we're above those out of the money puts, those will continue to be supportive, as well as the lower IC leg. Well, I'll talk about the mechanism of the IC here in just a few minutes, and you can pause your player and save the screenshot, or we've posted it on X this morning also, so check that out. And then out of the money calls, again, upper IC leg, gamma, again, lower and IC upper leg, and then net Vanna. You see the right-hand plane is significantly larger than left-hand plane. So if we do see volatility continue to drop, as well as out of the money calls come into the complex and we get above 69.25, we could move very rapidly due to this Vanna tailwind up towards 69.50. So again, we'll continue to watch that. If we bust either leg of the IC, most likely the upper leg would be the one we'd be watching for a movement above. All right, let's move on. The SPX 0DT call dominated above below spot price. The ICs easily outlined here: 68.85, 68.90. 69.20, 69.25. Again, that matches our GEX and DEX transition, and then our drunken sailor range is actually within that. So again, I put an arrow there where we could be trapped between drunken sailor range or at least to the top of the IC. If we do see a rejection, obviously it's a very shortened session. I would not advocate for anybody trading unless you're doing some sort of option structure that is going to help you with theta burn within the IC leg or as well as the drunken sailor range. That'd be the only play that I would be looking at, not directionally wise, just because it's going to be very difficult to get direction, a significant directional move, unless we get above 69.20, 25, then you could push towards 69.50. But for me today, that would not be where I would be playing. So again, call dominated should be supportive. Two transition areas, the DS as well as the GEX and DEX transition, and the IC most likely will contain price action for the day, the bounds. So we'll continue to watch that. All right, moving on to the IC mechanism. Again, we've outlaid this with commentary, so you can pause your player and look at this or save this screenshot. Again, we posted on X this morning. So this tells you how an ideal condor dynamic should work via the call and put side of the iron condor. So you can check that out. Let's go ahead and move on to the trading view chart. All right, this morning I did not go ahead and put DS on as well as transition areas. Basically, I've just thrown the price up there with our trading view scripts. Obviously, you can see 2025 up here is stacked because of the IC. So that would be the leg we'd be looking at for the upside. And then 68.95 and 6,900 to the downside would be the other leg. Sorry, 85 and 90 would be the other leg would be watching to the downside. So that's significantly lower than where our spot price is at the moment. So again, most likely we'll be stuck between those two legs, and price will just continue to chop sideways. Even if we do push up towards 69.20, 25, it's probably going to be difficult to get over. And then again, our market trend model via trading view continues to perform extremely well. I did not pull that one up this morning. Let me grab that for everybody. Let me know if anybody has any questions about anything this morning. Let me grab this real quick for everybody. And so pulling over there, the market trend model for trading view, again, continues to perform extremely well. As you can see here, we decided to get long the overall market when you cross above the shorter term railroad track moving averages, and then stayed long with the overall SPX continuing to appreciate. We had no reason to exit our positions, at least on a shorter term time frame. So our members were able to capitalize on the upside move within the overall SPX as well as the market through this run into today. And then back to our trading view chart again. This is able to be viewed on TradingView via a script. You can come in our Discord and get that script and then just paste it into TradingView. If you're an intraday trader as well as a swing trader, it works extremely well. And we've had great feedback, and we continue to improve this. I think we're at version 1.2 or 1.3 now, and we'll continue to revise it as we get feedback from members as well as the community. So, all right, let's go ahead and look at Meta. If anybody wants to look at any individual stocks, Daniel, I'm one of the few people who didn't know until this morning that Captain Condor is a real person. Yes, extensive reporting on him. There's a couple interviews out there. You can check those out on Google. Yes, real person with a large following and large subscription base also. So they put their money to work. They put their money where their mouth is. So, all right, so Meta heading into Friday, call dominated above and below spot price. You're above transition here, 662. Yes, you too, Butch. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. So everything looks bullish to the upside there. Only headwind will be significant charm due to these out of the money calls. After this Friday, call dominated, we do see transition move up a little bit, 675. What was the earliest? 680. So we do see PGEX drop slightly as we head into the new year, but INGEX comes up under price at 660. So again, that should be halfway supportive, as well as COTMP. So you'd want to see us get above transition. 675 to the upside looks like that high sensitivity speculation area to the upside that I would look for on Meta. So yes, thank you. Thank you everybody for joining us. Like and subscribe on X and YouTube. It's been a fantastic year. Interaction with everyone. Obviously we had our open mics on Sundays now that we're putting on X and YouTube. The community can join for free and ask questions. I feel like we've done an excellent job in that respect. Our flagship options course was launched this year. Tons of education at gameedge.us. Make sure you check that out. Our newsletter here, you put your email in, you'll deliver that. as well as our free courses. Gamma Edge Fast Pass is all free, and then our blog has extensive education. And as always, if you see us using the tools and you like what we're doing with the tools to navigate individual equities as well as the option structure, come join us in the Discord. 14-day free trial, all the tools turned on. Our Game Edge team is in the room trading with real money. Obviously, we have a mechanical portfolio with real money on the line, but we're doing real money trades every day too. So come join us, and we'll be happy to get you up to speed and explain all of our tools, as well as help you with education. We provide free one-on-one education if you need it via Zoom, as well as the extensive education we've already produced. So. All right, with that, everybody, have a great Christmas Eve as well as Christmas Day, and then we'll most likely catch you on Friday. You can run the commands as often as you want manually, but all of our automated channels are every 5 minutes. And we recalculate the Greeks as spot price moves up and down the overall structure. So, yeah, hopefully that helps, Buckaroo. But you can run the commands as quickly as you want in the Discord manually, but then we have automated channels for all of our other automated commands. So, all right, thanks everybody. Again, make it a great day. Reminder, obviously 1 p.m. market closes today. So after the initial moves, after the opening range, I would anticipate most likely sideways choppy price action. So manage risk as always, and have a great day. Thanks.